Hi everybody, so I'm just coming back from the DAM Aristocrat event in London this week, so during 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday, so this is the event, and first of all I would like really to thank all the team from Dan, Janet, Jade, so we're a very great organization at all the levels, services, conferences, very great event, and this year something like 250 people visitors, so we're much more than last year. More vendors, so we have the room was definitely larger, more or less twice compared to last year. And in the meantime, very great keynotes, I can really tell you. So you can find all the information, of course, on the DAM Aristocrat event. On my post on LinkedIn, you can find all the links also available, so you can reach all the right content. And so, as usual, you know, this year, each year we have an item. The item is introduced by Teresa, and so this year this is the DAM engine, so engines of emphasis, and it's right that this is really the core of the business, because of course I'm thinking of the position of a customer today compared to last 10 years ago. You have more or less it's 50-year solutions DAM market. So for the large DAM vendors, you have much more choices compared to years ago. And the DAM is really at the core of the engine. Of course, we can, and I will talk later about some of the core features of DAM to be successful by brands and your customers. But as soon as you have the right engine, you are really in a position to be able to control your assets. And as for example, yes, is a clear representation of that goals, because we are not talking about still images, JPEG. We are talking about very large files. And at one time, you need to get the right control. You need to see what you get at the end. And that makes really the difference when most of the people are using some open source solutions to transcode the files. Sometimes it's important really to get to them, and also very fast. So come back to the conferences. So after the welcome from David, always welcome as usual, we have two great conferences in the morning. So especially the first one was from here Filippo Catalano from Nestlé. And we have a great overview how to manage the content by Nestlé. So Nestlé is one of his brands, working from packaging to DAM to new experience, also with video, 3D, and so on. So this presentation was really great. Just after, we have a great presentation also from Caroline Kastner from Red Bull Media House, and this example is very interesting in a way that, of course, most of the time people are buying a solution. Okay, I will say that most of the people are doing but in fact, Red Bull made the decision to build their own solution. So of course they have a strong team, developers, very smart people, and during the last 20 years, and that's more or less the target of the keynote is, compared to the needs of the market or the new challenges of the market, they were able to fit their needs and to develop the right things at the right time. So, of course, Red Bull is one of these companies which is providing a lot of content, and you can see on their YouTube channel. Of course, today it's still YouTube, the main channel, so it's always amazing to see. So perhaps they find a way to stream and feed the content to YouTube. So, but very great presentation. We also have a very great presentation in the afternoon from an overview from Thomas Cook. And he was covering a lot of subjects, how to manage the asset, how to manage the metadata. So very interesting. And so the first day was very crowded, so very interesting in that way. The second day we're starting with the keynote was between some vendors, because of course when you are a customer, okay guys, you are selling, and sometimes you are selling the cost of the investment is a lot of money, and you need to think about the ROI. And so there are some new challenges into DAM. And just after, we also very interesting presentation about your integration of the DAM, because the DAM as it is not the one solution. And you know, by Darim Software, we do believe, and first of all, to be close to the customer, to get the right user experience and the right user engagements, but how people are working today. Do you think they are sharing just files? And if you just focus on that word, of course you can compare to any Dropbox thing. And it's always an item that we have seen for more or less 1 year. Is okay, Dropbox, Drive. Is it a DAM? Of course it's not. It's not a DAM, and you can follow the different core features of DAM Foundation. But in the meantime, you have to think about the ROI, and I see so many US customers using, you can see at the top over here of the browser, as for example, Bugs app and so on. So, of course, DAM has to be smarter, and that's the reason why, for example, in ES, it's driven by workflows, because at one time, what you need to be able to drive your content at the right time with the right people and to get the approval cycle. So this is the core business of a DAM, where the DAM has to go. In the meantime, as for example, in NES, you have dialog to control the files. So because I can see so many people, okay, they have a DAM, and they are spending half of the day uploading, downloading the files. Okay, that's cool. Okay, you have nice internet connections, fiber, and so on. But do you really believe that you have time? And especially as, for example, Photo Studio managing raw files. We have some customer who have to manage 30,000 raw files per day. Do you think really they have the time to download and to upload in the files? I don't think so. So it's also at the end of the day also a discussion about cloud, on-premise, and so on. So definitely, of course, the main market is moving to a cloud. I would say for one reason. Most of people, as soon as you're on premise, you need to get the right people with the right skills. And it's right that most of the time, even large organizations do not have the right people. So the driver, I would say, is not taking a risk, but to say, okay, perhaps we can test. So on our side, by Darim Software, in fact, I'd rather to move to, okay, we can work on a proof of concept, work on your to focus really what's your issue, what we need to solve to achieve that goals. And in fact, the proof of concept is one way to test the system during 6 months, 1 year. And at the end of the year, most of the time, it's, of course, if you are able to manage your data, to control data, it's even better at any time. So the second day was also for book, very nice. Presentation. We also had a roundtable, and especially here on my side, with Darim Software, we have an item was about DAM and packaging, because today you have, and especially links to the webinar we just did 2 weeks ago that you can also find on my post. Packaging industry is more and more producing a lot of SKUs, and so we have many images, many links between assets. So all that content has to be managed in one side, in order to avoid some silos around the organization. And really, the DAM is one of the answers to the packaging challenges, and that's what we did by Darim to organize on a table and to get also some feedback, because of course it's definitely our customer driven. And so you have a couple of tables about DAM and projects, how to achieve my targets, do I have to move to cloud, do I have to work on premise. So very interesting item, new item this year, and definitely a nice one. Of the discussion we had during the event is, and one talk was about the use of learning engine. So more or less since the last 2 years, and especially since Adobe was talking about during the Adobe Max about the learning engine, the ability to use and to retrieve some content with some automation. So it's simple. You just uploading images, so you have a sun, you have a beach, and without adding any XMP or IPTC keywords, the engine is able to search and retrieve this information. So today, the most advanced technology is definitely used by Google, Flickr, so all these public libraries. So it's very useful for, I would say, for most of the people. Instead of spending time indexing your pictures. This is a real job and one of the top jobs by agencies. But in fact, the question is, so is it something so useful for a brand? So I do believe it can, from my point of view, it's always a nice thing to get. Of course, something is perhaps better to get is also to get your own engine without using internet connection, which is perhaps more advanced. So stay tuned for this year what will we unveil in ES. But at the end of the day, and that was more or less the conclusion that Teresa and some consultant had at the end of the day is, or okay, as soon as we are talking brands, as soon as we are talking some very specific and custom vertical markets, indexation is always about context. So it means you need to build your own taxonomy, you need to build your own keywords, and even Google is very smart. He has knowledge about that experience. The other item which is more and more used is all about the, I will say the marketing automation. In fact, at that point, I would say the market of DAM is more or less involving in two ways. So you have a strong DAM with strong engine, and DAM needs a strong engine, and you have some new vendors unveiling some more marketing DAM. So it looks like very nice. You say, wow, this is what I need. So and we had this feedback from as for example from people using Adobe Experience Manager. It's when you see the demo, you say, this is what I want, and after 1 year you said, okay, so perhaps this is not really what I was thinking about. So really take care, in fact, because of course you can get some beautiful UI, but at the end of one day perhaps it's not doing the right job. So it's important really, as I was saying, to be in touch with your product, to test with your own data. And in fact, one of the clear representation of that goal is more or less you have DAM at the earth, and you need to be able to integrate with your APM system, with all your location of information. Or just as for example, I'm working since the last 20 years with agency. Do you think really you have some time to ingest assets, or also the abilities to monitor file system is a nice one. And of course, just to finish the conference, we have the Stump consultants, or between Teresa and Romney. And so of course this year Romney was the winner. So, and of course I don't want to miss one thing. Happy birthday to you. So it was really your day, Ramnes, or you performed well on the stage. Great answer as usual with your experience. Or of course, Teresa has some good answers too, and especially as soon as we are talking with her last book. So you can also find on the post the link to her wonderful book she made last year. And so this is the DAM Europe. So of course, it's important now that you have to keep in mind that you can still register for the DAM Chicago. So I will be there from Dalim Software and my colleague Graham Blanks in the US. And one thing, because a couple of people told me, okay, we'd like to get DAM bake-off. So you know that I went for Dalim Software bake-off in New York. So I will be there again in Chicago, and I hope so also to organize that event in LA, where I'll also be there. Of course, it's always a nice pleasure to win because it's customer feedback. But at the end of the day, whatever the winner, whatever the challenge is, it's always good for the DAM community. So say you have nice vacation for people who are going vacation, and so we'll touch you later in DAM Shear. And so just follow all of my last posts. You can find so many information, and don't forget also to visit DAM Maurice Stewart event with all the latest information about the DAM community. Bye bye, hello, and have a nice day.